Good morning, boat banner fans. Here's Captain Larry on Chapter 3. Come join our ride. Today we're going to be talking about marine fabrics. These will basically, I'll give you a pretty good overview of the materials that you will need to use in order to reupholster your boats. The companies that I work with that are supplying most of these to me, there are a lot of others. I will, in the description of this video, put down their web addresses so that you can go visit them and check them out for yourself and see if you want to deal with them or not. So let's start, we're going to start from the back and work toward the front, if that makes any sense. First thing we're going to look at is backing. Now, on all your projects, cushions and all that, the downside, the bottom side, obviously does not need vinyl, typical, nice vinyl that you use for seating. So what you do is you put backing there. The backing needs to be tough, but it also needs to be able to breathe, and it needs to be able to let water through, because obviously in a boat you're going to have a wet world. Here's two of them that I have used in the past. If you're really on a budget, one guy showed me this. All this is landscaping fabric. This is what they use for putting in beds to keep the weeds down, and it actually works quite well. It might come in different colors. I've only seen black. It's very, very inexpensive. I bought it by a big roll. I don't know how much it was. Very inexpensive. And it breathes. It works easy. I would say the only downside to this would be it's really thin, and I don't know how tough it is. I did a whole project, one of my boats, with this used as backing for all my cushions, and I ended up selling that boat. So I don't know where it is as far as living through the daily use of a boat, and is it causing problems? I don't know. But anyway, again, if you're on a budget, this is what I would use. You get this in big rolls, and this is just stapled to the plywood or plastic, whatever the base is on the bottom, and one of your last steps. And it's, again, it lets the water out and lets the project breathe. Product that I moved to, oh, by the way, this, you can get this at any hardware store, Lowe's or Home Depot or that kind of place. This is a product I got from sailrite.com. I really like it probably the best. It's a lot heavier. It breathes, and it still lets the water through. It's called backing. It's kind of a beige color, and it's very easy to work with, very easy to cut. You don't have to worry about singeing the corners because it doesn't unravel. And so I would kind of recommend this. This is obviously a little more expensive, but it's a lot less expensive than vinyl. So this is, I guess, what I would recommend. It's called Beige Backing from Sailrite. Try to look at that. Play with both of them and see which one you like. But I think this will last much longer than the landscape will do. Okay, that's the backing part. Let's go to canvas before we do that. The canvasy products really are kind of in two grades. There's a heavy marine one that you use for your biminis and your tonneau covers and your mooring covers for your boat. That is this stuff here. It's quite heavy. This is Sunbrella, a navy Sunbrella. Probably the best product in the market. It's a little pricey, but if you're going to spend all that time working on it, you might as well get the best and do a good job. This should last forever, a long time, I should say. I've got some Sunbrella covers, both tonneau and mooring, that I've got on my Cobalt, and it's Cobalt's a 98, and they still look very good. A little faded, but a couple of holes, but very good. The only downside with these fabrics is that their abrasion resistance is not very good. And so what I did, matter of fact, the cover that I do have has some holes in it. What I actually did, I got some cheap denim from a fabric store and sewed it on the spots where your covers will attach, and metal things are sticking out of your boat. They're rough on these covers, so I just put a patch on, sewed a patch on there so that denim takes the abrasion rather than the sunbrella, and working out fine. These come in like about 48-inch rolls, sold by the yard. A little pricey again, but you're going to spend all that time, put it, and you want it to last. This is the way to go. And Sunbrella is a great, breathable, watertight product, so it's a good deal for you. This is about half as expensive. This is only maybe $9 a running yard, with that maybe, I don't know, close to 20. This is a fabric I got from a Rochford supply. But this is a thinner one. I used this for the interior of a cabin cruiser I redid. I redid all the cushions, futon, the front deck, and dinette area. This is called a marine fabric. It's lighter than that heavier Sunbrella product was. More of a fabric for upholstery. So they call it our upholstery fabric. Easier to work with, thinner. Should have about the tenacity of this heavy stuff, especially for the internal use, usually the way to use these. Anyway, I really enjoyed working with this. It was less than $10 a yard, and so I did the whole cabin cruiser. I think cost me like $450 in materials, thread and everything else. So, and that was a lot of pieces. And it was a 34-foot cabin cruiser, so you can imagine I used quite a few yards. So anyway, not too bad at all. Definitely look that up. Okay, let's go to vinyl. Vinyl, there's so many vinyls, and the number one problem I have in upholstering boats is matching colors. Brutal. I'm a little colorblind, so I need help from people. But what you want to use is you want to get a marine grade vinyl from the various suppliers I'll show you. They come in all kinds of different textures. You want to look at the sides to see how much vinyl you have. I like them. A lot of backing on them. Some are heavily backed. And let me show you. And some are almost no backing on them at all. Pull them and stretch them. See how they will be to work with. This is a lot more stretchable than this one is. And I'd say the color is king. So get yourself at least a 30. I usually use around 32-ounce vinyls. They seem to work the best, and they last almost ever if you take care of them well. So anyway, while we're talking about that, I probably should go over, these are just colors, the gray. They just look kind of gray. And that's why these colors are so hard for me. You swear you look at the color, oh, this has got to be right, and then you look, just whites. There's all kinds of whites and blacks. You think black is black, but it's not. So you really need, if you're not good with colors, get someone to help you. And the grains are quite different from one product to the next. Okay, let's go. I showed you this before. This is called Hidem, H-I-D-E-E-M. You can see that it has a slit in it, and this is what you use to cover up your last row of staples you put on the bottom. Staples go in the slit there, so the Hidem hides its own staple. This comes in rolls like this. You can get this 25 yard. I think this comes in 25 yard increments. 75 feet. It says comes in 75 feet. You can get less. I bought this from Sailrite again. Very good product. It comes in very hard to get the exact match. It comes in something like a white, about 4 or 5 colors or 6 colors or something like that. So it's pretty inexpensive. It's better to buy a lot if you're going to do a few, because you get a little better price on that. So anyway, hide them. Try to get close to the color. It won't match your vinyl, but it's on the bottom, and so it's not that important. Another product that Sailrite sells, and I'm assuming another, is called a foam core. This foam core is used for piping. And you cut an 1.25 inch strip of whatever vinyl you're using, and you just simply wrap it around. Let me show you there. You simply wrap it around your foam core like that, and that gives you your piping. And then you just sew I'll show you our next chapter will be sewing. I'll make some piping, just to demonstrate that for you. But that way there is very inexpensive, comes in long runs here, so very good. And then so you'll need that to make the piping for your projects. Let's talk about thread. Thread is really the lifeblood. We're going to get into a later topic, but people need to think when they're talking about, okay, you can use a 26-ounce vinyl or a 32-ounce vinyl, and 32's got to be better and it will last longer. A lot of your problem with taking care of your boat interior is the fact that the thread has dissolved and broken up and frayed, and so the seams are coming apart. The vinyl might be doing great, but your thread is gone because of the harsh chemicals. So you can end up spending a lot of time making your projects and all that, and have it 4 or 5 years later gone because your thread dissolved because you were using bleach or a bleach containing product to clean your boat. Basically, there's 2 kinds you'll be using. This is just a bonded polyester, they call it. Of course, it comes in a myriad of colors, so you just get a color. But it's like a 60 or 69, something like that level, and then there's the 92, V92. Again, Sailrite, I bought these from Sailrite. I have several. I got dark and black and blue and all the rest of these, but very inexpensive. You get these spools for like $10 or something like that, and I've done quite a few projects and I got all this left. So it lasts a long time, so don't worry about the cost. Your thread is your least of your problems, which leads me to this. This product is called Tenera thread. It's from Gore, G-O-R-E. I got it from sailrite.com also. This has a lifetime guarantee, and what that means I don't exactly know. But this is expensive. Well, you pay $10 for this, you're going to pay like $100 for this one. Quite expensive, but you consider all the time you're spending on your projects, and you want something to last. This is the way to do it. This is a clear product. It looks white, and it comes out unfortunately white on your project that you'll do, but it is clear. They do have colored ones, not many colors, but this is the thick Tenera. And I did a cobalt the other day, totally in this product, and I put 32-ounce vinyl on it, and I'm assuming that project is going to last for 15, 20 years. So you're spending all that time and all that energy, I highly recommend this, even though it's going to cost you 10 times more. It's a lot of thread. I don't know how many projects I'll be able to go through with this. I don't know what it says as far as the total amount. 1,060 meters. I don't know exactly how long that is, but it's a long way. So that's a lot of thread. The Sailrite people had mentioned that this is a little hard to work with. I didn't find that at all. I didn't miss a stitch going through that whole project, so I think it's quite easy if you just put the right needle in and you set it up. Just put it away from your sewing machine, and it sews fine. So anyway, I can't recommend enough is to use the Tenera or Tenera type thread for your projects if at all possible. Again, it costs you a little bit more, but in the long run you will win out. Okay, finally we'll go into foam. I've talked about foam before. It's the most expensive part of the whole project, so if at all possible, avoid it. Try to save your foam from the initial installation or from the manufacturer, and life will be so much simpler. I had one where there was a sun deck, and vinyl had literally gone, and there was a couple of stripes, and literally the sun had eaten about 3 inches down. But all I did for that, the rest of it was fine. It was covered. I just bought this foam, cut it to the shape, stuck it in there, and glued it in, and then I put it over, just batted it over the top, and it looked fine. So I was able to save it and only have to use a little bit of foam. There's a whole section we could go on foam. There's dry foam, antimicrobial foam. It's a lot of them. Maybe we'll go over that sometime in the future. But if you go to these websites that I'll show you, they'll tell you about the different kinds of foam. But what I mainly use, again, this is a fiber polyester batten. What is it, a ½ inch, I think. Comes in big rolls, and I can't highly recommend this enough. Is before you put your vinyl on, is put this down, and then put your vinyl on top of it. It really makes a lot neater job. It tightens everything up, smooths the corners out. Excellent product. So, and that's a great way to bring old foam back to life, is use batten on top of it. If the batten is not enough to help you, you have all these other foams. Again, these are all antimicrobial. They have different backs. This back is for sewing, so if you make one that have a nice rippled effect on your backing or whatever, use that. This is just a pink one, again with backing, so you can sew in, and the sewing has something to catch on to. This has no backing. But you can use this again on top where you're trying to build up things, rounding corners or anything else. Again, Sailrite has an excellent group, Rochefort Supply, I'll show you. They have a nice group of foams. And this stuff is really expensive. This is what you can make cushions out of. I have never had to do it. I just use this for repair work. But it's easily cut. It's easy to work with, but it's like I say, if you get like a bull nose on your cushion, it's very, very tough to duplicate that. The only thing I can really do is build these things up. And then what I do is, if I have a contour, I really can't do, even with that cutter I showed you the other chapter, very hard to make it so it's a more square. But again, you need this. You just wrap that over, and that will round off those poor cuts you make. So that's foam. And just one other thing, this is siding you put on any of your project, strapping they call it, and it's good for any kind of edging you want to do to finish off your edge. Very inexpensive, a lot of different widths and a lot of different colors, so whatever you want to use on that. Okay, let me just finish up here with some companies. This is Rochefort Supply. I like them quite a bit, but the customer service is not too good. I got into a problem with them on some bad vinyl they had sent to me, and they wouldn't take it back, so it's a bad deal. But you have to buy these books. This book was like $85. But the beauty of it gives you all the colors of vinyl for all the different suppliers and the different textures. And, it is an excellent book, and you got to have it if you're going to do a number of projects. You really need to invest in these books because the colors, I'm telling you, the colors are going to be a #1 struggle. People will send you, like for $1, will send you a couple of samples of their blue or whatever. You won't believe how wrong you'll end up being all the time. They'll send you the thing, you spend $2 to get it to you, and postage, and you'll find it's the wrong blue. So you really need to get these catalog type things where they can show you a lot. Here's another company here. Who are these guys? I think this was Sailrite, yeah. Sailrite does that. They send you these patches, the colors. So you've got to guess about what you're looking at from their website, and then you order them. And again, as I said, you'll probably be wrong and have to order more. This is from Overton, good building supply. This is their carpet. Never done a carpet project, but they seem to have a good quality and quite a few different colors. So that's a good company to check on. This is the Sunbrella. Again, this is all the colors of Sunbrella, all over the place. And you can get this from Sailrite again. They will send you that little catalog. This is Overton's vinyl, excuse me. Very small amount. If you're doing the whole thing over, then you don't have to worry about it. You just pick a color or 2 or 3 you like and go with it. But if you're trying to save some of the old old vinyl, then you've got to get as close as you can, obviously. Here's another company, Vida, V-E-A-D-A. They send you these little patch kind of things. I don't know, again, I just went for colors I thought, and they send you these little patches. Here's some but again, most of the time I was wrong. So I had to go to the big books. And finally, Midwest Fabric. This one was expensive. This was like $100 and something for this ring, but it has so many different vinyls, and it has carpet and padding and foam that you can cut. And they're in Minnesota, called Midwest Fabrics. And again, I'll leave you their contact information so you can look at them online and see if you want to get into that. And again, I just say, if you're going to do any amount of, I've done quite a few projects. That's why I needed to get these big books. The Miami Corporation also is supposedly sending me one, and you almost can't have enough because you won't believe how many vinyls you can't match. Anyway, that is what it looks like. Again, I will put their contact info in the description. Chapter 4, we're going to go into sewing next time, so you join me, okay? Thank you.